Are you looking for a professional, commercial, advertising production company that can give your products gravity and rememberability? Then look no further than Hamstervision. Why? Because we film stuff. Jewelry, shoes, fashion, headphones, phones, watches, toys, makeup, oils, lotions, and cheese, cheese, cheese. I think you get the point, right? So why Hamstervision? I would say Hamstervision over the rest because if it's good enough for Coca-Cola, Baskin-Robbins, Ghirardelli, Top Ramen, and many other professional brands, then it's good enough for you. Don't wait to get beat out by your competition. Stop by Hamstervision TV and book your free consultation today. Speaking of Hamstervision, you know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for us to welcome you to On the Grind with Doc Reo, the show where we talk to real experts in the business of creating and producing content for film, television, and emerging media. Our guest today is one of those experts with over 20 years of experience in film and television production. Today, we are on the grind with Drew Lauer, who is an entrepreneur, studio owner, producer, and director of photography. He's also another jack of all production trades and a Sagittarius and an expert in emerging media. Welcome, Drew. How you doing today, brother?
Man, you bring the energy. You got it. Got it. Chilling. It's good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. Shoot, it's been a while. I've had you on before.
Well,
We
this is
talked
the last
about,
time I see
you
you
know,
in
your
person. The last time we did a little radio thing, it was in person. That was
That's
years ago.
true. People don't know this, but we go way back and we talked about this like when we did the in-person radio interview. We used to do gripping back in the day. So I was on the scene and we were just talking about this before that I just came back to the scene and he had just moved into the scene and we were just working consistently, running the actual show trail. Cause you kind of got to run around and you got to keep booking
The,
shows all the
the
time.
hamster wheel.
Yeah, the
It's the
hamster wheel. That's it.
run around everywhere. You know, feel like we're
Exactly,
doing
exactly.
something, but we're not really. We're just like, doing short films and stuff. What were we even doing? Yeah.
Short films, working on different TV productions, just doing all this stuff. But he got an idea to change his whole venture and actually move into production. And so I want to start with that. How did you transition from being a worker bee, I want to say a grip and production specialist, to kind of moving from grip and production, electric and lighting and everything and camera op into really getting into DPing and really building in a production company?
Ooh, that's a long question. I don't know. Do you know it's now been over 20 years now I've been doing this. That's crazy, man. Yeah, of course. It's the short version. I don't know. I've done a lot of things. Like one of the things that I always said about this job is the variety. The variety's always been my favorite thing. And one day I'm out in the desert blowing stuff up, and the next day I'm filming like somebody doing mustard on a hot dog. Like, it's so different, and then the next moment, I'm out, doing, music videos with, the biggest music videos, crazy ones, so the variety is great. I love working on the big ones and the small ones, and, I don't know, I'm a Sagittarius like you, so we always got things going on. We're always like, I just can't keep busy enough, so I have a lot of things going on, and I just always have had a lot of things going on, and, a couple of years ago, with the pandemic and all, and even pre-pandemic, I went into, producing, started dabbling in producing after, being on behind the camera for many, many years, and watching producers go. I kind of, had been on this path and then got presented an opportunity to executive produce a big music video that went really well, and then, at the same time was sort of making Hamstervision, and then, I got a couple
What
of other jobs in 2022, and it went really, really well. It was
what
good.
was the music video, by the way, if you don't mind me?
It's called Clarity, and it's by, Sam I. You know the DJ Sam I? He's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's on your Hamstervision site, isn't that one? Yeah.
Yeah, 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 you can see it on Hamstervision, yeah, I didn't put it on my DP site because I was the producer on that job, and sort of that kind of happened all at once, and then immediately after I got the, oh, I should just say it for sure, Sam I is, the producer and artist, and then also, Schmuck the Loyal. My man is a fucking badass, yeah. So Sam and Schmuck is one of their, music projects, and we did a big, music video for them, and it turned out great. Anyways, and then shortly after I did Baskin-Robbins, and then I did another music video that I executive produced, and, anyway, 2022 was fun for that stuff, and that's when I learned that, You know what I learned is that what I learned was that I thought it was really fun to learn the process of producing, and I had actually, one of the I mean, a legend who turned out to be a legend. This is a producer who I worked with, I don't know, half a dozen times before. She had hired me to do some big music videos, and then I had 6 months prior, like, worked on her with a Michael Bublé music video, and we hadn't seen each other since pre-pandemic, so we're like, "Hey," got along really well, and then I had this music video fall in my lap, and I was kinda like, "This is great, this is awesome, so perfect." It kind of all lined up, and then I was like, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I've never produced anything before, and I'm in charge of a whole bunch of money." So I started calling some friends, and I talked to a few people, and then I had talked to Melissa, a producer friend of mine, and, she was available and good for it, and I had talked to somebody else, and she was like and they were like, "Oh, you know Melissa Larson?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "She's a fucking legend." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And I mean, I knew her. I've known her for many, many years, and it turns out she is a fucking legend. And she held my hand. She was fantastic. She really, you know, it was really fun to be a producer who knows the technical side, like what we were talking earlier about folks knowing the technical side. And it was really fun to learn that whole other side of the producing side of things, which I always knew of, but didn't know the inner workings of. And now that I'm not a I know much more now, much more than I ever wanted to know, and I'm good. It was fun to learn how to do all that, and now I don't really wanna do it anymore.
I find that interesting since, I mean, in that 20 years time, you actually built another production company and you were a
People have
DP and you
Yeah.
transitioned the technology to something new that nobody had ever seen before.
Well, I've
And
always done that. Since
yeah,
2005, I've done that with the new technology that nobody's ever seen before and bringing it
tell
to
us about that real quick.
Well, that's kind of always been well, phantom cameras is where it started, and it progressed to drones and then time lapse, motion control, and then later actual motion control. And and then robots, which I've worked, and then the robot motion control, which is now my latest crazy obsession, is them, 6-axis robot arms, like what you might see in a picture of like if you see like car manufacturing facilities with these arms around. Where's my camera? These little arms like building, one of them's painting and one of them's welding on the line. Well, we put a camera on the end of these things, and they move super fast, super precise, and, I don't wanna say AI, but they have these intelligent features that are starting to be like, "Okay, alright, you guys are yeah, we're making steps." So it's a really interesting time to get into that right now. But since 2005, I've been into taking whatever I can to make things look like just in a new way, to see things in a new way and using technology to technology with art to show things in a new way, which is the Phantom cameras was the main super duper super slow motion was my main drive for many years. Um,
Let's pause there for just a second on the Phantom cameras because I just want to
yeah.
rewind a little bit from 2005 to what 2020. Let's go back there for instance, and I know you did a lot of productions in there. What was the
Yeah.
most memorable production that you can remember in that time?
Well, it had to be climbing over 2 miles of live volcano when I was in Alaska hanging off the cliffs. Well, then there was Montana where we were flying helicopters dropping dynamite to set off avalanches because you wanna set off the avalanches before they happen and cover people. You wanna set them off before so that nobody gets when nobody's on the mountain. Yeah.
Right.
That was my other life. That was my other life doing, like, National Geographic Discovery
High
and
speed
travel.
cameras. Say
Well, the
again,
high
Nash
speed yes, but then that took me to those even further. Yeah, so then I was doing it later with and without high-speed cameras and then adding drones to the mix and time lapse motion control and all that to the mix. That
and
was
and who was
yeah.
that for
I
again?
Discovery Channel mostly, and then a lot of National Geographic, History Channel. We did some for AMC, Travel Channel, Weather Channel. I think that covers it.
That's
Mostly
awesome.
those.
That is
Yeah, those
awesome.
were nuts. We did a fishing show in the Gulf of Mexico for months out, flying drones around, have you ever been next to an oil rig?
Yes.
In a s in a
Yes.
tiny boat, like, in a teeny tiny boat the size of this smaller than this room.
A tiny
That's
tugboat pulling up to it so you can get on it,
so
Oh,
big, it's
they're huge.
crazy. You're huge, and I'm just there. We got 2 boats. Took us almost 5 hours. It was 4.5 hours of in these tiny boats going
And camera gear.
and camera gear, there's 2 boats. We're riding the whole way, and we get there to the And they're like, "All right, take off the drone." And I fly the drone around once, and they're like, "All right, come back." And just one quick shot, real fast. And then we come back down, and then we shoot this little scene, and literally every single person is throwing up, puking, seasick,
Wow.
except for me, because I don't get seasick. I don't. And
Well, because it was a 2-hour ride on the boat going like,
no, it's
it's
a
a
4-hour ride. A
it's a
4-hour ride.
4-hour
We
ride there
got
and back,
there.
huh?
We filmed for 20 minutes. I have a camera on my shoulder, and we're filming this. I'm filming the dude, and I'm filming him off the edge of the thing, and I'm filming our, I don't know, he was our actor. He was, like, testing the barnacles. I don't know what he was doing. And I pan over real quick to the other camera operator over here, and he's "Bleh." And he's holding his camera just like and then I just go, "Whoop." Bleh, and I'm like and we shot for 20 minutes, and then we turned right back around, and we had a 4-hour trip back to shore. It was a day. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's how everybody thinks National Geographic is so fun to "That must be amazing." You're like, "Yeah, pretty amazing."
Uh,
No, we did fun stuff. That was a really fun show. Like, yeah, we had a blast.
yeah, you did all these amazing things, and while you were doing all these amazing things, you actually transitioned to another company in between. I wanna bring this up too because we
Which
talked about that earlier, MediaBox,
Oh, well, media
studio production rental company. I mean, this is just you were just popping up companies, like, "Hey, let me do this, let me try
Yeah.
this," So, tell us about MediaBox and how that came to fruition, and then where is it at now?
Yeah, so we wanted to, we meaning, my partner, Brad Stone Cipher, who is also a working director of photography, who's killing it. He's doing some really nice work lately.
Tell him I said
Um,
what's up, by the way.
yeah, 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 I will. He and I had both been working out of our garages for years and sort of started collecting cameras, and I was doing huge projects, out of my garage, and these huge at the time, it was a little embarrassing. I was like, "Oh, I've got these big giant union commercials and big things, like, prepping out of my garage," and I was, like, all embarrassed about it. And in hindsight, I'm like, "No, that was great. Like, we shoulda just kept going. Like, that was so s it was awesome." In hindsight. At the time, I was embarrassed. But we were doing really well and decided to sort of pool all of our resources together and open Media Box, which is our toy box. It's really only feeding our addiction. That's all it is. We're just supporting our habit of buying awesome toys and lenses, and we kinda think that we're gonna keep just getting whatever we like to film with, and hopefully other people wanna use it too, and we've got a really nice family of DPs and filmmakers and producers who like the same things that we like, and so they get to use it as their toy box too. Yeah, and, in a nutshell, it's a boutique camera rental facility with the world's highest end gear. Like, we're small, we don't have a lot of gear, but we have the best gear. There's no better gear.
I've
Yeah.
seen the gear I've seen, yes, definitely.
We have the world's best cinema cameras. I mean, to anybody who's gonna film the biggest of films, you would
Yeah.
use, I mean, the cameras we have, and the robots even. I mean, it's all top notch, super high class.
Eh,
Super high
yeah.
class. Yeah, it's fun.
So how did actually Hamster Vision start to really come about? Like, what did that brainchild? Because I know we had conversations, you and I were, like,
Well
talking about it in the transition, but how for people who don't know, how did you come up with the process of the idea and say, "Okay, we're just gonna make this company now?"
Well, it had been building a long time before. I was almost gonna say that it was a bit of a, lots of folks went through their own sort of renaissance during the pandemic, right?
Right.
There was a little bit of that, but it was absolutely building before the pandemic. Because prior to the pandemic, I was in line to sign up with a commercial agent, and in fact, some friends of mine had signed up with her, and I had sat in on meetings, and we had talked about when we're gonna pull the trigger and start pitching projects with and switch. You remember Hollywood Special Ops?
Yes.
The high-speed company, switching that over into a production company and changing the name was in the process because Hollywood Special Ops is an awesome name, but not for a production company, we thought at the time. So this was all sort of in the works, and then the pandemic hit, and everything kind of went haywire, and, I guess about 2.5 years later, after the pandemic, I was like, "Okay, what's going on here?" And Hamstervision was kind of formed all at the same time. I mean, this is how it happens a lot, I feel like, in our business is, like, you can only get so far prepping. You can get really far prepping. Don't get me wrong. There's so much prepping that you can do. But when there's a project that presents itself and you have a need to go film something, that's when shit happens. That's when you are able to hire people and get things going. And what happened was is there was a long-term project that I had been working with and on and had been working with this one producer for a couple of months. And actually the project got pushed more than once because of pandemic concerns, because of I think talent had COVID at one point, and then so it had gotten pushed a few times, and it kind of sort of got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I ended up knowing the most about it, and I was like, well, kind of built this production company. We could sort of, because one of the big producers had to jump off. Matt had to jump off the project after it had gotten
Oh,
pushed because he had another big project in New York. So they said, Drew, did you say you're starting a production company? And I said, yeah. And why don't you just take it over since it's been pushed 3 times? And so I did. And yeah. And then literally sort of concurrently is when the Baskin Robbins project came on. And then 2 more small projects for the cheese company. And yeah, it was a fun year. It was a fun year where I decided I just want to shoot pictures. That's all I want to do.
hey, it's a learning experience and a great experience, I'm sure. Because I mean, when I came down and saw what was going on in Hamstervision, it looked like y'all were having fun. So I
It was
definitely
fun.
want to say, yeah, I mean, I was having fun. I had fun the whole
Well,
day,
we
and I
still have
just came
fun.
down to visit, and then I wanted to play too. So
Well, what happened is we still have all the fun. Like, I still have all the fun and not nearly the responsibility. You know
it's true.
there's folks that wanna produce and they wanna be producers, and I mean, lots of people will find that glamorous.
We can't help
Well,
that.
we will leave it to them to go do that stuff while we go, well, we're like, "Alright, good. I just gotta make this blueberry look perfect. Alright, how do we make this blueberry perfect? Alright,
I love that. I love that.
we're gonna put it in cereal? That blueberry in cereal? Let's try it. Let's go. That's all I wanna worry about." Yeah. You gonna have some marshmallows? Cereal with marshmallows? No marshmallows? Alright, okay. You wanna run that up the approval ladder? Yeah. These are the choices that I wanna be involved with. Quickly describe to me how gooey the nacho cheese needs to be in words. Those are the decisions that I need to be involved.
Well, we're
I
gonna
like,
come right back, Drew. We're gonna come right back to that idea. I know those ideas are pouring. He's like, I got all these ideas. I just want to be in the gooey in the shot. I want the frame. But we're gonna come right back to that after a commercial break, and we're gonna dig in deeper to this next transition that you're talking about. So we'll be right back after this. Have you been putting off creating your podcast or video show? Are you lacking the equipment, software, and know-how to make your show happen? Wouldn't it be nice if you only had to focus on booking and interviewing your guests? If you had an access to a mobile ready studio that could work for you, would you get started immediately? So, what are you waiting for? Stop procrastinating and call in the Hotbox Studios where we will help you share your story. Call or text us at 310-844-9285 to get started today. Why? Because your story, our story, is history. And we're back. We're
and
back
we're
here
back.
with Drew
And we're
on the grind with Drew. And we're in the hot box talking with Drew about how he's transitioned from his life as a DP, I
I
want to
mean,
say DP producer, director, all these things. He's transitioned and back into another style, which I didn't even know about before this. But if you missed
what?
part of the episode earlier, if you missed some of the episode earlier, go ahead and rewind, come back in and check it out. But if you're just picking up now, we're going to talk deeper with Drew about what he's doing today and where he's going for the future. So with that being said, welcome back, Drew. How you doing, brother?
No, I'm happy because I said after, I meet with, Mario, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna take a little break and then cook some dinner, so I'm happy about this.
Now we when we left off, we were talking about some of the things you like to do, like maybe even making sure the liquid in the shot glass is the right level.
Well, I just realized, I mean, we're not curing cancer, are we?
We're
We're
not.
making, I mean, the most lofty, we're making some kind of emotionally touching short film, but I'm not doing that. I'm selling, you know, we make chicken nugget commercials, and it's so much fun. It's so stupid and so nerdy. That's what I realized that I love spending my time on. Yeah, it's a good time. We're not trying to take over the world here. We make pictures of vodka, drink our vodka, and it's fun. It's so blinders on, So let's just, we've got this, and it's a huge puzzle to solve. I mean, you think about filming a vodka bottle, it's got reflections everywhere. How are you going to get your lens in close? And how it's a huge puzzle. And how are you going to make the lighting go in? And how are you going to make 25 people do this in under 10 hours so that we don't get into overtime? Like, it's a big, interesting puzzle, and end up with images. I mean, the ultimate goal here, we talk about technology, we talk about robots, we talk about the fun of producing and music videos and climbing volcanoes, but like, oh, what are we doing? We're making awesome pictures for people to look at. That's what I'm doing. Like,
What's that
I just
process like for you, though? I mean, on
wanna
a
make
daily basis, what's that if you were to take a daily basis, what's that process like, or not even daily basis, just for you in the morning when you got a production? What's that feeling for you, that process to get into the office and make that happen?
well, it depends. Variety is everything, and so, I mean, if I have a film day, it depends on what kind of film day, but, even on any film day, yoga in the morning. Yeah. That's the best thing. I mean, it's a mood booster, it's everything, and this applies. I mean, if I'm doing something handheld like I did yesterday, definitely yoga in the morning, and a couple days of training prior, even the week before, you know? Oh, in my 40s now, man, it makes all the difference if you do a little something in the morning.
Definitely,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah, it's a mood thing because you gotta get there and, create. I mean, there's so much going on in life, and you gotta, like, push everything aside
Meditation
and create. Yeah, you've gotta, like, create, and, um
meditation, transformation, exercise,
well,
and,
you know what?
affirmations.
Talked to somebody recently about this concept, and, I think, yeah, and to put it in words, it's something I've always thought of, but I guess I'd never really put it into words recently. You're gonna appreciate this. I don't know. I always draw. I'm an artist. I always came up through huge art background, drawing, and a trained artist, draftsman in drawing, painting, and really interesting stuff. And one of the tricks that I would use when I was drawing something, especially like if you're drawing something from life, especially if you're drawing something from life, or any time though, or if you're painting, all sorts of stuff. Sometimes in order to make the project better, you've got to like sort of look at your drawing, whatever it is. Hopefully it's a beautiful, barely if anything clothed lady. Those are always fun. It's really easy to look at them and say, and then sort of turn your vision off and say, what if somebody else had drawn this picture and they called you over to say, "Hey, take a look at my picture that I drew. How would you fix it?" So
Wow.
it's because if you think it's your picture, then you get all up in your head and you like see like it's too much. But if you just stop looking at it for a second and then pretend like you're two people and say, "Hey, come over and check out my drawing." And then you yourself take a fresh eye and you're like, "Okay, if I were you, I would do this and this and this and this." And all of a sudden you have advice for yourself. And so I've always kind of taken this in from drawing to filmmaking, but and lighting and like when you get to set and how to different though, because when you're drawing, you're by yourself and it's very intimate versus you're on set and there's lots of people and delegating and trying to coordinating and having,
But
times intersect, like build a background at the same time if you got to, put the right amount of spritz on the lemon. It's, yeah.
But I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that much transition difficult. I mean, difference because like you were saying, I talk about that same thing in speech or in writing or in presenting. If you're gonna, I mean, even me, when I wrote this, even though, you saw me do the ads or whatever earlier, even when I did the ads, I practiced those before because it's all about practicing. You practice everything you write, but I practice it in that time so that I have it in my head, the thought, the process. And so I think that's just a natural thing, or I wanna say I don't wanna say a natural thing, and it's a natural thing for those of us who want to do it right or do something in a better fashion or actually care about what we're doing.
Yeah. But then and similar to podcasting and rehearsing that thing, because we do a lot of practicing and rehearsing, but it's interesting when you get to set. It's same thing when you hit record often that you get a second take. We get second takes too. But we've only got 10 hours to do what we need to do. And so if
Right.
you experiment too much, you won't get through your day. And so I actually metaphorically liken it a lot to like a live performance sometimes, the
Yes.
10-hour day. Like we practiced, we practiced, we practiced, and now we're on stage. right? Even though, I mean, we could do take 3, take 4, take 5, but we still have 10 hours to complete what we need to do, and it's sort of this performance that needs to happen in order for it to all go correctly in a way, and the way we all communicate, and the way I communicate with the robot operator and other folks becomes, it's my crew, it's my people, we get a shorthand, we know how to do things. My AC who's
Exactly.
pulling focus, like, we get a shorthand,
That's
and
another thing. Short pulling
I'll point my
focus
camera and
practice.
I'll point my camera and I'll be like, "You know that," and he'll be like, "I know," and he knows it's not the thing that's in the he knows it's like, I wanna focus on something else. I don't even have to say it, he knows. Yeah.
But that's after practicing and working together and figuring it out together. So that makes total sense. And thank you for sharing those steps because I think a lot of people don't understand some of those processes or maybe understand them but haven't transferred them to what they do. Or maybe they want to get into film and television and haven't transferred that idea from maybe working in a cubicle to getting to film and television. It's the same process in any business. We all have to do some of the same steps if we really care about what we're doing. So, but I want to transition a little bit more here. Let's talk about the
Uh-oh.
baby, the princess, or maybe I should call her the queen by now.
What,
Rosie
my
the
little girl?
robot.
Oh, talking
I know you got, he's like, I got a
about
little
her
girl. I got a little
my
queen and a
mom
big queen and then
or
a
my
bigger
little
queen.
no, Rosie the robot is my shit. Yeah, she's been a mission, it's really fun. Robots so I've worked alongside robots for almost 10 years with the folks that, created the whole thing, Academy Award winning engineers that built these things from the ground up. And I thought at the time, this is awesome. Let's let them build it. And later, I'm going to get one and figure it out. And so that's what I did. About 10 years later, I wanted to get one that was less DIY. And so I waited until I mean, I love them. This company called Motorized Precision,
Yes.
and they're out of Oregon. And what they do is they take these robots that are made all over. This particular manufacturer is made in Germany. They're called KUKA. KUKA is the robot. This company in Oregon basically buys these robots and outfits them for cinema. And so there's a lot of hardware involved, but there's much more software involved, and their software is bonkers. It's so good, and they're always advancing new things. And so I looked at there's a handful, maybe a little half a dozen or so competitors of folks that are doing this, taking robots that are used for manufacturing, for science, for research, and taking them to cinema and trying to make them work for cinema, which is what I've always done. I've done this with other things. And so this is a natural progression for me to now take the robots and make them work for cinema. But I didn't want to build it. I wanted somebody else to build it, and I wanted to learn how to use it really well. That's what I wanted to do.
The
Al?
challenges. What were some of the challenges you
Well,
faced? Like when you were getting
oh,
getting the learning the
there's
programming and getting to know
I feel
Rosie.
like it's so much challenges from technical, and there's so many technical specialties that you need to understand, which I don't understand any of them. I try and get smart people around me. I understand things to a certain degree where I'm like, "Okay, I get the concept, let me get an expert." And then we get someone like Carlito, who is a robots genius, come in and really, he thinks very XYZ, and that's great because I do not. And we've realized that you get different folks in with different perspectives and different specialties and experience and meld them together. And that's what filmmaking is. So taking something that's built for manufacturing and scientific DNA processes these things are built for and using them for for something completely different. Making art, hopefully. Making hot
Well,
dogs look good. That's what we're doing.
I'm I'm glad you mentioned that, hey, I'm not the smartest guy. I get smart people around me because my next question was, tell us about the teams. I mean, you got a team at Hamstervision, you got a team at MediaBox, and now, of course, you got a team under your name, Drew Lauer.
Yeah, my new brand. Yeah, I know I've made the realization with some help that, yeah, just be true. You don't need to be all these companies. And yeah, I've got a team and we're working on some big projects right now. We just did one for Absolute Vodka. And it looks like just before this call, I got a text about Robert Mondavi coming up. And then
Woodbridge,
yeah. Do you know yerba mate?
yeah, yerba
Which is like,
mate.
yeah, drinks in the stores. Yeah. Good stuff. I like that yerba mate. Now that I've tried it, I actually bought it recently. I was like, "Oh, it's good," because they gave me a bunch, and I had a bunch after the shoot, and then I was drinking it, and then later I saw it in the store, and I was like, "Fuckers, alright, I'll buy it." Yeah.
They hooked you.
Yeah,
They're good.
some good stuff happening, in that world, and yeah, so we've got Carlito,
Mhm.
brilliant. I mean, yeah, he's smart. Yeah, up, yes, in the tier of the smartest people I know. He's fantastic and really dedicated and really interested in doing fun things, doing cool things that, you know. And then we have Jeremy, also another ingenious engineer who's more of a fabricator. So he knows some robotics and actually he's an electric engineer by education, but he's awesome. He does fabrication for the Star Wars shows. So he did like Mandalorian and stuff. Like, I don't know if they need a tiny little robot to actually in real life roll over and flip out or something. Like he will build it in real life for them to film. Like it's not CG. Like cool stuff. Yeah. And he like installs little batteries so the thing like pops out and like one of a kind one offs, you know, cool stuff. And we have him like I don't know, creating like contraptions to like throw rose petals out and we'll do like a perfume thing, you know, and then Tim Hogan is a director that I've been loving to work with lately. He's killing it. He does just his main drive has been beverage. So hence the Absolute and Mandavi and other products. And my main focus is food. Did I tell you this?
No, no,
Food,
I
man.
did.
Food, buddy. Food's my new thing, man. It fits so perfect. Food's my I could do food forever. I could be filming I could be filming smash burgers, and that's when I keel over and I die, and I'd be happy. I love smash burgers, don't you? Anyway, about our team, Tim Hogan is yeah, he's a killer director that's getting, you know, doing some really fun stuff and loves working with robots and has always done sort of this technology with art sort of blend, you know. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. And then as far as teams, yeah, teams are important, man. You gotta surround yourself with good people that you can trust so that when you know, they get the big picture so that when you know, send them for a task, like it gets completed well, I hope. There's teams on each project that are sort of on hire per project, and then Media Box would have sort of more of the admin stuff to it. Well, if we're gonna talk about awesome people over at MediaBox, our toy box full of equipment is run by Jake Riley, and he's killing it. He's just making sure everything's smooth for us and for our other DPs and clients that come in to rent cameras. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, now that we're at this level of hamster vision, robots, and everything, since you've done the robots, since 2022 to now, what's the most memorable shoot you've done in food or in this type of tabletop environment? And I
No,
say tabletop for those
I
who
like
don't
them
know
all.
out there. Tabletop is all about that stuff
It'll
where you've
top.
been seeing on commercials where the food flies through the air and it smashes together like he was talking about smash burgers, but I was saying smash burger, you know, because it bounces
Yeah.
or Skittles flying
Either
or
one. Ice cream, 2 balls of ice cream just flying at each other at super high speeds and then, like, collide like planets in the air. And like planets because, like, this ring of, like they'll collide and then, like, nuts will come flying off and orbit around. It's so weird. It's so
it's
cool.
so
It's
awesome.
so
Yes.
nerdy. I don't know. They're all fun and they're all interesting. They're all their own little puzzles, and I like how they're these own little puzzles that, in a way, they just don't matter. Sometimes I think, like, we got Russia, we got the election coming up, we've got COVID, we've got all this I mean, the world is nuts, and I'm like, "Just gotta make this hamburger look good." Like, there's nothing else, like, that's all that's important, and guess what? We got, like, $1.5 million worth of equipment. We better make this hamburger look good. Like, it's just so stupid, and, like, it's almost like escapism sometimes is what I love about it, like watching a Marvel movie that has nothing to do with there's no point to it, and, I don't know, yeah, there's something to that, you know, there's an appeal to that, and,
But we
I've
as an
always made
audience, we love to escape in those burger, like, oh, that burger looks good. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
well, and
it's that same thing. We like to escape there too.
well,
So
somebody recently was like, "But don't you wanna make something that's emotional and has impact?" And I'm like, "What is the most important emotion? Hunger." I'm gonna make you hungry. I love food, and I love eating, and I love cooking, and it's such a basic part of, like, the human condition, and, like, it's great. Let's do it, and, you know, and it's very specific and very nerdy and very yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, I think it's just a fun puzzle to and where do I wanna spend my time in all this? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
So
as I was saying earlier, I know I've been down there and people haven't had a chance to see this, but I've been down to your lab. I wanna call it the lab, because that's
yeah.
you were in the lab when I was down there, and I've seen the well-oiled machine in action, and I've seen the teams work together and people collaborate there, and just it's such a great energy environment. And so I wanna talk about that process. What is a regular day like? When you head down to the production company and you're shooting these type of videos, what walk us through a regular day.
Well, I only shoot with my friends. I try to, I guess that's sort of one of the goals, is one of something that I've said for many years is like, I just want to shoot fun projects with my friends. And so, well, I'll hire my friends and the folks that I get along with best who are also creative go-getters. It takes a certain type to be in this business. So, I mean, that's what it's all about is trying to show up. But it's a tough life we lead sometimes. So usually these days, I like to do a pre-light day before we shoot. So in the old days, we would get there and then light everything. And I've learned that that's so efficient to do a pre-light day where we set up everything before, maybe test a couple of things, maybe even get an actual shot off before the shoot day and knock one off our list before the day even starts. That way, when we get there in the morning, everybody can get their coffee and we can turn on the lights and pretty much say, everybody, anybody not ready? That's one of my favorite terms. Anybody not ready? Okay, roll camera. That's what I like to do at the beginning of the day these days. Inevitably, there's some tweaking or something, or the client's gonna have some choices, or they just brought in the color correct bottle this morning, and yeah, we just start. I mean, time starts flying from there. Things happen so fast. There's so many things we'll have already built. We used to use kiddie pools, like a kiddie pool underneath whatever the heck we're doing, because no matter what we're doing, we're making a mess. And so something to catch it all in. But lately, we've been simply taking like 12-foot long 2x4s and just creating a square on the ground, a frame on the ground. And then we will lie in plastic that's huge, uncut plastic that has no seams in it, which creates our giant 12 by 12 kiddie pool. You follow? To catch
Yeah,
everything in. Because yeah, my big thing now too is like let's clean up as we go. It's like cooking, right?
yeah, yeah,
Clean up as we
exactly.
go so that at the end of the night, it's not crazy. So, at the end of the night, we get everything off, wipe everything down after we've blown watermelon and chocolate and cookie dough and vodka last time, and we were like, "Well, actually, the vodka's probably cleaning all of our stands off," is what we were hoping for. Yeah. Just, we create a total mess pretty much every time. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's busy. It's go, go, go. It's get lost in the details. Oh my gosh, there's a tiny light that's sitting on the label. Let's spend 25 minutes getting the damn reflection out of the side of the bottle. Yeah.
wow,
Yeah, man,
wow.
it's ridiculous. The food, have you done food shoots?
Just with you. I mean, actually back in the day, but it wasn't robot arm. It took a lot longer because we had like Lazy
Oh,
Susans with a
long, long,
burger
long.
on it. Yeah, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done plenty without a robot arm, and it's still meticulous.
Those promos we used to do for NBC. Remember those? We used to always have
Okay.
different promos with different. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember. Those are fun. Those are
That one of those
uh,
was a burger one, like a Burger King one, I
Immediately
think
on
it
the
was.
food shoots, here's what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with us staying, like, grueling. We're in hour 6 filming this radish, I don't know, or we're filming nachos on cheese, and I'm obsessed with the stupid ass things we say, super serious, like, we're like, "God damn it, I wish this nacho cheese was gooier." It's like, "What the listen to yourself."
What you thinking about that? I wish it was gooier for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
shot.
yeah,
You're thinking
yeah,
about the shot, not the
uh,
actual nacho cheese is
yeah,
per se.
yeah,
Can we
uh-huh,
make it gooier? Can we
yeah,
can we
can we
put
make it
something in it, make it gooier?
yeah, I love that shit.
So let me ask you this. I don't think a lot of people think about this because when I hear it from other people, they say it could be overwhelming. But if you had an unlimited budget and all the time you needed, what kind of production would you produce and what would it be about? Now, I think I kind of know, but because you've been saying it throughout this, but what kind of production and what would it be about?
Giant hamburger. No, I don't know. Well, anything I want. And that's the thing is, anytime somebody gives me carte blanche to do anything I want, I'm kind of like, well, we could. Well, how about? Well, what if? there's a thing about creativity that requires boundaries. That you have to have a I don't know, you have to have a goal, like, what are we doing? Like, what's this about? And as soon as I have any kind of inkling on that goal, then I'll be like, "Oh, I know exactly how to do it. Here's how to do it. This is the only way that we could do it. No other idea will work." And I have, like, then I'll have the perfect solution for it. Of course, there's a million ways to do it, but, I will be convicted that this is the exact there's no other better way to do it. It will be what I feel like. But to, like, say you can do anything, it comes it's,
I think you pretty
uh
much answered it because
Good
that's the
choice.
same. Yeah, that's the same thing that we all think. It's like it's too much. You know,
Yeah.
carte blanche is just, we say it all the time. I wish I had carte blanche, but when it happens, it's like,
I guess I would do something in the vein of 2001: Space Odyssey. It would be some kind of amorphous commentary on where we're at that people just have to watch for the sake of watching it, you know? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
huh. Well, last question. I know I announced it earlier, but how can people get in contact with you?
DrewLauer.com. DrewLauer.com.
You heard it, folks. DrewLauer.com. That's it. Well, it's always good talking with you, Drew, and I hope we get another chance to, put some stuff together on set. I know we will. Well, that's it for us today, folks. You heard it here first on the grind, and that was On the Grind with Drew Lauer. And we are going to come back and talk to him again sometime in the near future to see where he's
Yeah, that's
going,
great.
where he is at, and where he's going to be. We'll see you folks next time on the grind with Doc Reo. Peace. We're out of here.